In a neon-lit city, someone opens a party app linked to the Lust Sects star disciple. Virtual visuals of seductive women appear, hinting at a wild event. Two guys discuss how amazing the female disciples looked at the party. One teases the other for enjoying too much only to get smacked in return. A flashy man from the money sect mocks others by showing off stacks of cash, calling it the true source of power. The weapon sect gains strength through divine weaponry. One follower prays to a powerful sword, hoping to gain the strength to defeat his enemies. As new sects rise, they reshape society, becoming the foundation of human progress in Shinju. Old traditions fade while cultivation becomes universal. Now, even students in classrooms can enhance themselves using tech and spiritual tools. In just 10 years, the new sects have taken over Shinju through rapid cultivation. These disciples see old sects as useless and have forced them out of power. Instead of protecting people, cultivators now focus on rivalries and violent takeovers. Frustration builds as someone clenches a pen tightly, unable to tolerate the fanaticism of the new sects. A college student named Ling Chen reflects on how people's desires have blinded them. An announcement reveals that the campus is on lockdown due to a violent clash between old and new sects nearby. Ling Chen is frustrated. He had plans to attend the weapon sects event, but now learns Shiyun sect is under attack. Ignoring warnings, he grabs his bag and storms out, leaving his classmate shouting after him. Students are shocked Ling Chen is heading towards Shiyun sect, calling it suicide and suggesting he should just join a new sect. Frustrated voices question his decision as the new sects grow bolder with each passing day. Ling Chen runs through the city, determined, regretting they didn't relocate the sect sooner. Elsewhere, someone pays respects at an incense altar, thanking the ancestor for founding Shiyun sect as a peaceful refuge. An elder laments that in today's noisy Shinju, young people no longer seek the Tao. During a solemn ceremony, he prays to the ancestor, sensing disaster approaching for the sect. With deep concern, he pleads for protection over the disciples, especially his son. Suddenly, a deadly attack crashes into the hall, catching everyone off guard. A disciple lies dead, shocking everyone, especially when they recognize him as the gatekeeper, Akwan. The elder freezes in horror, realizing something terrible has happened. A shadowy figure greets him coldly. The mysterious intruder addresses him as Sect Master Ling, stepping forward with dark intent. Meanwhile, someone falls through the air, regretting not making it back in time to see their family once more. Ling Chen rushes in, only to stumble into a horrifying scene. Blood covers the ground. He steps on a lifeless body. His eyes widen in shock as he realizes how brutal the new sects truly are. What he sees is worse than imagined: bodies scattered, the place drenched in blood. A panicked voice calls out to Chen, warning him of the danger ahead. Another elder screams for everyone to run as chaos erupts around them. A member of the new sect strikes mercilessly, showing no intention of letting anyone escape. With a twisted smile, their leader mocks the old sects, calling their techniques outdated compared to advanced tech. Ling Chen mutters, "Father," as dread begins to sink in. He finds his father's lifeless body, confirming the worst. Overwhelmed by grief and confusion, he stares into the blood-red sky, asking what went wrong. His eyes burn with rage, questioning why their peaceful sect had to be destroyed. Ling Chen reaches for a blood-soaked weapon, his mind spinning with grief and rage. He charges at the enemy, demanding to know why they're trying to wipe out the sect. He cries out that no matter what happens, the sect master and ancestor will never forgive them. With tears in his eyes, he pleads for a reason why must their sect be destroyed. With a smug grin, the enemy declares that no one will be spared. A devastating blow strikes down another sect member without mercy. A blade is drawn as one of the invaders mocks the defenders as pathetic. The leader commands the sect to be burned down completely, every trace erased. Lying in blood, Ling Chen is overwhelmed with frustration, blaming his weakness for the tragedy. He vows to destroy every last member of the new sects and avenge his fallen loved ones. Suddenly, he begins to fall through a mysterious void filled with floating clocks. Drifting deeper, he wonders what's happening until a voice finally calls his name. A golden orb floats before Ling Chen, glowing with mysterious energy. His eyes widen in shock as he's pulled deeper into the strange space. He demands answers, asking who keeps invading his mind. A radiant figure appears, revealing himself as the ancestor of Shiyun's sect, the one who passed the hidden merit technique to Ling Chen's father. Ling Chen confronts the radiant ancestor, demanding to know why he didn't save the sect. The ancestor explains his body was sealed in the forbidden grounds and he only became aware after the tragedy. He tells Ling Chen that now, he's the only one who can be saved and the only hope left. Frustrated, Ling Chen lashes out, calling the hidden merit technique useless and questioning its purpose. The ancestor gently reminds Ling Chen that his father gave everything just to ensure his survival. He explains that hidden merit was meant to build spiritual strength for the future, but the attack came too soon. With his current reserves, Ling Chen now holds enough power to surpass everyone in the sect, even his father at his peak. The ancestor passes on his final message. He said all he can. From here on, everything depends on Ling Chen. The ancestor pours all his power into Ling Chen, honoring a promise made to his father. Ruins of the sect lie silent, with only echoes of destruction in the air. Blood-stained remnants drift through the broken halls, traces of the massacre. Suddenly, a hand crashes down with force, signaling someone's return. In a dark alley, rats scurry around, disturbed by approaching footsteps. A shadowy figure steps in, startling them as tension fills the air. A man carrying a heavy sack passes by, groaning from exhaustion. A mysterious young man with a red umbrella walks through the slums as starving children beg him for food. The mysterious man walks silently, while harsh voices order the poor to move faster. Armored guards insult and shove the weak, calling them useless trash. One of the guards notices the umbrella man and becomes suspicious. Irritated, the guard yells at him to move, but the man calmly stares back, unfazed. A young girl admires the man's umbrella, calling it beautiful. She tells him she's never seen an umbrella like that before, her eyes full of wonder. He gently explains it's a traditional oil paper umbrella from Shenju, and she curiously asks if he's a new survivor. Nearby, a guard overhears and is shocked. Such umbrellas are said to exist only in the elite realm of the Daylight Nation. Guards confront the umbrella man, accusing him of possessing an item only allowed to the upper realm. The little girl trembles in fear, clinging to her blanket and whispering for help. One guard angrily demands a response, reminding him the captain is speaking. Suddenly, the man's eye glows red, his calm demeanor shifting into something dangerous. The guards panic as golden energy wraps around them. Something is attacking their bodies. One is violently struck and lifted into the air by the mysterious power. Shocked, a guard realizes the man possesses divine power and demands to know his identity. Trapped and terrified, one of them begs for mercy, but the power shows no signs of stopping. The guards shout a warning, threatening that the Middle Realm's sects won't forgive this attack. Unbothered, the umbrella man raises his hand, unleashing a wave of divine energy. The golden force spirals upward, tearing through the alley like a vortex. Multiple guards are violently swept into the air, helpless against the overwhelming power. The little girl cries out in fear, overwhelmed by the chaos. Calmly flicking his fingers, the man controls the wind as if it's nothing. The remaining guards are flung back effortlessly by the swirling energy. With a cold stare, he delivers a final warning: get lost. A terrified guard crawls away, warning the man to remember what he's done. Another guard flees, shouting to report the presence of an intruder in the land of forgotten. As the mysterious man walks away, whispers spread among the onlookers, all eyes on him. From the shadows, a woman watches, surprised to have found not only her target, but a valuable bonus. The girl nervously calls out to Ling Chen, referring to him as Big Brother. Her eyes are filled with fear as she wonders if he's a divine power wielder. She hesitantly asks if he will kill her. Her voice trembles, clearly scared of what might happen next. Ling Chen looks into her eyes and calmly replies that he isn't a divine power wielder and promises not to harm her, easing her fear. He then extends his hand, summoning a glowing plush toy with golden sparkles, and gently says, "This is for you," gifting it to her. The girl happily hugs the sand pony Ling Chen gave her, calling it amazing. She smiles brightly and gently tells him to leave because the place is too dangerous. She admires Ling Chen's powers, saying they're the kind that protects people, not hurts them. As she walks away, she waves and thanks him again. She invites him to visit her at the car junkyard and play together when he has time. Ling Chen silently watches her leave under the moonlight, his expression soft and thoughtful. Robots rush to report a powerful man with an oil paper umbrella who defeated many of them. The inspector rages, calling them useless for failing such a simple task. The little girl excitedly talks about the sand pony the man gave her. A robot identifies her as the child who was with the one who injured them. The man greets the girl warmly but secretly vows revenge for his past humiliation. Suddenly, heavy machinery drops beside them, startling both. Officers approach, claiming they need to speak with the girl. The man tries to deflect, but the girl points them out, saying it's them. The officer threatens the man, demanding the location of the umbrella guy or they'll turn the place into a bloodbath. One of them grabs the little girl, startling her. The man protects the girl and attempts to escape, but the enemies chase, aiming a powerful weapon at them. The girl is shot while trying to flee, collapsing from the impact. The enemy threatens the injured man, demanding the umbrella guy's location. As the man bleeds and the girl cries out, he looks hopeless. Suddenly, Ling Chen appears with his umbrella, arriving just in time. Ling Chen lowers his head slightly under the red umbrella. His glowing red eyes stare forward coldly, filled with rising fury. Ling Chen arrives silently, shocking the enemies. They confirm he's the one who beat their men. One soldier angrily attacks, calling him a defiant commoner. A powerful strike hits, igniting the battlefield. The soldier leaps into the air, aiming to strike from above. Ling Chen calmly stands, unshaken by the attack. The onlookers are stunned by the bold move. The girl watches in fear, covering her mouth in shock. The soldier swings down with a massive hammer, but Ling Chen catches it effortlessly. The soldier is stunned and confused by Ling Chen's overwhelming strength. Ling Chen's red eyes lock in with a cold, deadly glare. In an instant, Ling Chen slashes through the soldier, finishing him in one blow. The soldier panics as Ling Chen charges at him. He tries to flee, but Ling Chen strikes from above with precision. The impact creates a massive explosion, leaving nothing behind. From the smoke, Ling Chen appears calmly. Someone shouts his name, Liu Ziyan. Ling Chen watches quietly as the girl clutches Liu Ziyan's body, blood pooling beneath them. She screams in desperation, begging Liu Ziyan to hang in there, her face twisted in panic. Tears stream down her face as she blames herself repeatedly, overwhelmed with guilt. Ling Chen calmly observes and thinks to himself, it's already a miracle Liu Ziyan is still alive after such severe injuries. The injured girl wipes her tears as the wounded man gently comforts her, noticing her tear-stained face. Liu Ziyan, barely conscious, asks Ling Chen for a favor, acknowledging his critical condition. With weak breath, Liu Ziyan requests Ling Chen to take the girl away from this place, hoping she won't be burdened by officials or soldiers. He grips Ling Chen's hand tightly, entrusting the girl's life to him, believing she can survive if left somewhere safe. Ling Chen kneels beside the girl, listening silently as she pleads, her voice filled with desperation. Tears stream down her face as she begs him to save Liu Ziyan, calling him her only family. She desperately believes that since Ling Chen knows magic, he must be able to help. She calls him Big Brother, clinging to hope. Ling Chen lowers his gaze in frustration, thinking to himself that it's happening again once more. He's too powerless to protect someone. Ling Chen blames himself for sparing the enemy in the past, thinking that if he hadn't shown mercy, none of this tragedy would have occurred. He recalls the girl's innocent smile and regrets his naive thinking, feeling the weight of his earlier decisions. Standing in the rain, Ling Chen acknowledges his weakness and immaturity, silently promising to change. He walks up to the crying girl, shielding her with his umbrella, and calmly asks what she plans to do next, ready to support her. The girl looks at Liu Ziyan's body and softly says she can't bear to let him sleep outside like this. Ling Chen gently acknowledges her feelings, replying that he understands. He uses his power to summon a wave of earth and sand, preparing a proper place for Liu Ziyan's rest. Looking at the girl, Ling Chen calmly says they should find a clean, beautiful place for him. The girl nods, touched by his kindness. The girl happily responds yes with a bright smile, agreeing with Ling Chen's plan. Elsewhere, chaos erupts as civilians are attacked by deadly laser blasts from masked enemies. Panic spreads, and people scream for help. Two of the masked attackers converse coldly. One mocks the victim's desperate attempts to flee, while the other demands a kill count. Suddenly, a swirling column of sand appears in the distance. One of the masked enemies notices it, puzzled, and mutters, "HM? That is..." Ling Chen glares with intensity, remarking how even after 20 years, the new Sects lackeys still treat human lives carelessly. With determination, he declares that they will now experience the same fate, summoning a raging sandstorm. The sand lashes out violently, wrapping around the masked enemies and crushing them with overwhelming force. Blood splatters as the girl watches in shock. Ling Chen's brutal attack obliterates their enemies in an instant. The girl walks beside Ling Chen as they leave the scene, glancing back with a thoughtful expression while rain pours around them. He gently tells her he'll escort her this far. A crowd waits ahead, watching silently. She remains quiet, deep in thought as they approach the people gathered in the street. Among the crowd, murmurs rise. People wonder about Ling Chen's identity. Someone asks if he's from the upper realm, and another questions why the girl, Dandelion, is with him. One even pleads to follow. The girl begs to go with Ling Chen. He tells her it's safer to stay here. Life with him is dangerous. She insists, wanting to learn magic and protect herself. Ling Chen is moved by her strong resolve. The girl introduces herself and promises to take care of Ling Chen too. She later visits Liu Xian's grave to say goodbye. The scene shifts to a mysterious tall tower under a bright sky. A new character with blonde hair makes a dramatic entrance. The girl wears the ancestors' clothes, feeling happy and excited. She's surprised she's never had such clean clothes before. She thanks Ling Chen warmly, smiling with joy. Meanwhile, someone informs their master that the two are approaching the checkpoint. He quietly acknowledges. A wealthy man downplays the threat, calling the target a mere squad captain. He orders his guards to lock down the checkpoint and block any intruders. He tosses a heavy gold bar spirit refined as payment to get the job done. With a smug grin, he demands the man's head in return. She holds a golden card and asks Ling Chen if it can truly take them to the upper realm. Recalling her past, she says she's never left the land of Forgotten and was found near a junkyard. Ling Chen simply responds that he doesn't know what the upper realm is like. Suddenly, a man rushes in from the crowd, startling her. Ling Chen notices a suspicious man with climbing gear and wonders if there's another way to the middle realm. The guards strictly enforce that only one permit per person is allowed. A woman pleads with a guard to let her and her sick father pass with one permit. The robot officer accuses them of being disguised criminals and shoves the woman aside. The guards accuse the woman and her father of being criminals, despite her pleading and showing the permit. Ling Chen silently observes. Ling Chen realizes he and Dandelion also only have one permit and considers how to bypass the inspection. Suddenly, someone is seen scaling the building. The guards panic and receive orders to shoot on sight. As chaos breaks out, the guards start firing lasers, endangering the woman and her father. One of the attackers is violently blasted apart as the conflict escalates. Ling Chen and Dandelion observe the chaos while another body falls nearby. Ling Chen decides not to act rashly. He's unfamiliar with this realm and must remain cautious. He also feels responsible for protecting Dandelion. Quietly, he begins to activate the golden permit card using his power. The guards scan the permit and let them through without questioning. Dandelion excitedly praises Ling Chen for being able to forge permits so flawlessly. Inside the tower, she gazes out in awe at the high view, amazed by the height. A nearby person watches them silently, letting out a suspicious HMPH. A sinister man warns that anyone who messes with the money sect won't be allowed to leave. The elevator announces arrival. Ling Chen steps out, calmly scanning the new surroundings. A mysterious figure greets them mockingly, "Welcome to the Night City," as Ling Chen leads the group forward. As Ling Chen enters with the group, they are greeted with arrogance. The enemy claims their sect is refined yet still threatening. The leader introduces himself as the master of the Gentry sect and gives Ling Chen two choices: death by his own hand or by theirs. But Ling Chen recognizes the enemy and coldly declares it's fortunate they delivered themselves to him. Meanwhile, the girl stands in the center as a powerful energy swirls beneath her feet, preparing for the battle ahead. Ling Chen summons a giant sand cocoon with a single commanding gesture, his power radiating across the floor. The enemy leader panics and orders his men to kill Ling Chen immediately. But as they rush forward, his golden sand tendrils lash out, stopping them in their tracks. With a confident expression, Ling Chen activates his move, Sand's Embrace, fully prepared to counter their assault. Countless sand needles shoot forward with blinding speed, targeting the enemy. One by one, the attackers are pierced brutally, unable to react in time. Blood splatters as their bodies are shredded by the relentless assault. A massive burst of explosions follows, consuming the area in golden fury. He narrows his eyes as towering gold bars suddenly emerge with dazzling brilliance. A blond man steps forward, impressed, acknowledging the strength just displayed. He boasts that the gold bars were refined 3 times in the legendary 8 trigrams furnace. With a smug grin, he claims industrially refined gold can't hold a candle to his. The blond man leaps high with fury, yelling for his opponent to die as he launches golden bars downward. But the next moment, the black-haired man vanishes and reappears instantly, dodging the assault with incredible speed. Shocked, the enemy realizes this man's speed surpasses even spirit treasures and admits he underestimated him. Refusing to lose, the blond man forms a deadly strike with 2 golden forks glowing intensely in his hands. The blond man launches a golden energy blast using his forked weapon, igniting a fiery explosion. The force of the blast shakes the entire room, sending shockwaves outward. Meanwhile, a large golden pod nearby begins to crack from the pressure. Seeing this, Ling Chen's expression turns serious. He realizes something dangerous is about to happen. With a sinister grin, the white-haired man claims he's found Ling Chen's weakness. He raises a massive golden slab and slams it down toward the cracked pod. The pod lies vulnerable on the glowing floor, its cracks deepening. A violent explosion erupts on impact, sending debris and smoke flying everywhere. Ling Chen smirks confidently while facing the white-haired man in a tense standoff. Suddenly, the little girl dashes forward with quick and determined steps. She charges fearlessly toward the enemy, her presence catching him completely off guard. With a powerful headbutt to his gut, she lands a surprise attack, stunning him with shock. The little girl yells "villain" and fearlessly launches another punch at the white-haired man. She strikes him right in the stomach, shouting, "Take this!" with full force. Just as he reels in shock, a massive sand fist crashes toward him from the side. Ling Chen appears in midair, his sand attack slamming the enemy away as the girl watches proudly. The white-haired man shouts in rage, calling out to the girl with blood on his face. Enraged, he throws golden knives at her, yelling that she's courting death. Just before the knives hit, Ling Chen shields her with his body, using his sand ability to block the attack. He sternly tells the girl that her reckless act almost got her killed, and if he hadn't caught her in time, she would have died. The little girl emotionally declares that Ling Chen saved her life in the junkyard, and she only wants to learn to stop being a burden. The white-haired man mocks them, calling people from the lower realm worthless and saying they deserve no mercy. He taunts Ling Chen, saying if he wants to die like an animal, he'll gladly oblige. Power surges around him as he activates Spirit Treasure Transformation, stating he won't waste any more time. The golden transformation begins, radiating blinding light from his body and limbs. His feet slam down with power, shaking the ground beneath. Fully transformed, he reveals his technique body of 10,000 gold glowing with brilliance. Ling Chen and the girl stare at him blankly, clearly unimpressed by the flashy display. Ling Chen gently tells the girl to hide, warning her that this battle is beyond her. He charges forward, soaring high as massive roots erupt around him. A powerful explosion strikes the golden enemy's barrier, but it holds firm. The golden man mocks the attack, claiming his defense is now absolute and no force can break it. The golden man jumps into the air, fully engulfed in blazing energy. He slams down hard, sending Ling Chen flying back in a powerful explosion. Ling Chen notices that although the golden form is immune to damage, it drastically reduced his speed. Seizing the moment, Ling Chen counters and sends the Golden Man crashing into the ground. The Golden Man smirks and mocks Ling Chen, revealing a hidden ability. Suddenly, a part of his golden body detaches and launches an attack from above. The detached piece strikes with overwhelming force, catching the enemy off guard. He boasts proudly, crediting his strength to the powerful treasure granted by the sect master. The Golden Man admits his form drains spiritual energy rapidly, but is confident the last blow was enough to end it. Suddenly, he notices something strange as the energy from the attack starts merging. Golden fragments swirl and fuse unnaturally, creating an ominous presence. To his shock, Ling Chen emerges from the energy cloud, unharmed and fully composed. The Golden Warrior realizes Ling Chen must be at the peak of Foundation establishment to survive such an attack. He arrogantly declares that even with skill, Ling Chen is doomed before his spirit treasure. But as he prepares for another move, he's caught off guard by Ling Chen's calm demeanor. Suddenly, Ling Chen raises a single finger signaling something unexpected and dangerous is about to begin. The Golden Warrior suddenly freezes, shocked that he can't move his body. Ling Chen calmly points out that the gold he relies on might not be as pure as he thinks. Realizing something's wrong, the Golden Warrior looks down in disbelief. To his horror, he discovers sand infiltrating his body, likely from the earlier attack, now corroding him from within. Ling Chen reveals the painful past his father borrowed money at a high interest to save his comrades, but the cost was his mother's worsening illness. The sect exploited their situation, charging 75% interest under the excuse of poor revenue, forcing his family into a cruel choice. The Golden Warrior realizes Ling Chen is from the Xi'an sect, now understanding the grudge. Ling Chen crushes him underfoot, delivering justice with no mercy. Ling Chen confidently raises his hand, preparing to unleash the final blow. The golden enemy's body begins to rupture, overwhelmed by the force desperately triggering separation. But it's useless. Ling Chen's power pierces through, ripping the foe apart in a brutal crimson explosion. From a distance, the girl watches in horror, eyes wide and filled with tears. A bloodied man gasps out a final warning, killing him won't matter because others will still come. Ling Chen stares coldly, unfazed, and simply replies, "I'm waiting." With a brutal slash, the man is torn apart, blood spraying across the floor. His final thought lingers in disbelief. Xi'an sect, how is that possible? A bald man orders his subordinates to summon the 3 other famous sects to his place. The little girl looks at Ling Chen and asks softly, "Are you afraid?" Ling Chen remains calm, giving a small smile without answering. The girl suddenly shouts with a big grin, "Afraid," clearly mocking the idea. With wide eyes and a clenched fist, the girl declares with determination, "But I will try my best not to be afraid," showing her courage despite the danger. A luxurious hall shines brightly as leaders from different sects take their seats for a meeting. A man with long hair and glasses asks the sect master if it's really okay to not report the appearance of the Xi'an sect remnant. The sect master, Dongzhong of Tyrant Sect, smirks confidently and brushes off the concern. He says Chen Chen's failure was due to his own greed and reassures that killing the boy will solve everything without needing to inform the higher-ups. The sect master offers 3 glowing spirit treasures, refined personally, to reward his followers. He instructs them to eliminate the Xi'an sect kid quickly and avoid causing any further complications. The 3 subordinates bow and confirm the order with respect, calling him sect master. They are seen exiting the brightly lit hall, walking out toward their next mission under the cover of night. The group departs on motorcycles, casually bidding farewell to the sect masters. The red-haired woman mocks the situation, saying Chen Chen is already dead and she won't risk her life for that fat man. Meanwhile, the protagonist and the little girl walk through a vibrant city street, amazed by the lights and crowd. She's delighted by the aroma of grilled food, pointing toward the delicious street barbecue stalls. They arrive at a food stall where skewers are priced 10 yuan for meat, 3 yuan for vegetables. The man notices the little girl has suffered a lot and silently reflects on her hardship. He pulls out a gold coin and asks how many skewers it can buy. The vendor panics upon realizing he's from the money sect and insists he wouldn't dare charge him at all. The vendor nervously says the gold coin is worth more than his whole stall and tells them to eat freely. The girl happily picks one skewer for herself. She hands one to him, smiling brightly. As they leave, he casually tells the vendor to keep the change. The vendor trembles as he realizes the value of the gold coin. The girl joyfully says this is her first time eating such tasty meat. She used to survive on rats and bugs in the junkyard. He gently offers his skewer to her, saying he's not hungry. He plans to avoid exposure, gather intelligence, and eventually strike at the core of the money sect. A knife suddenly flies through the air toward Ling Chen. He calmly catches the flying blade with 2 fingers. The girl urgently warns him, revealing that the knife was thrown by a mysterious woman. Ling Chen shifts into a defensive stance as the shadowy woman watches silently from a distance. Ling Chen swiftly counters another incoming knife with sharp precision. He then leads the girl away from the danger and walks toward a building in the city. He stops in front of a glowing sign that reads Chick Hotel, considering it as a temporary stay. A woman inside the hotel greets him warmly, saying, "Welcome, welcome Tilda," as he steps in. A hotel staff member warmly welcomes him, saying they've been expecting his arrival. She explains that a lady booked a room in advance, saying a handsome man with a little girl would be arriving. He grows suspicious, thinking it might have been the same woman from earlier, possibly a trap. When he tosses a gold coin, the woman realizes he's from the money sect, and suddenly everything makes sense to her. The woman explains someone offered to pay his hotel stay in hopes of gaining favor, calling it a smart investment. She leads him to room 8006 and opens the door. He curiously peeks inside, wondering what's going on. To his shock, he sees a woman inside the room tied up suggestively, leaving him stunned and blushing. The little girl quickly covers her eyes, shouting, "Wait a moment," to block the unexpected scene. Suddenly, a shoe, whip, and handcuffs are launched through the air in a wild blur. One of the objects hits the protagonist hard in the head. He stumbles out exhausted and blushing, muttering "phew," while the girl looks up at him in confusion. He decides, "Let's stay here temporarily," while the girl joyfully bounces on the soft bed, saying she's never slept on something so comfy. Meanwhile, he reflects on his plan. First, gather more money discreetly. Second, locate the money sect base and routine. Third, he must find out who the mysterious woman is and why she set this up. As he thinks, the little girl dozes off peacefully beside him, clearly feeling safe for the first time. He quietly leaves the room while the girl sleeps peacefully and heads downstairs. He asks the lady at the counter if there are any daily wage jobs nearby. She's surprised and jokes that someone from the money sect still needs to work, but points him to a casino 2 kilometers away. He reflects silently, asking too much about work would raise suspicion, since people assume the money sect is already wealthy. He decides to take advantage of being mistaken as someone from the money sect. With that in mind, he leaves the hotel and steps out into the city. He walks through the neon-lit streets, blending into the bustling crowd of the sleepless city. His expression turns serious as he contemplates his next move. He stops in front of a luxurious building named Glory Hall, clearly a place of significance. Suddenly, someone tries to attack him, but he counters effortlessly, slamming the man into the ground with brute force. 2 angry guards yell at a desperate man, warning him not to gamble without money. The man begs for one last loan, promising he can win it back, but they threaten to send him to the lower realm if he fails again. He overhears the main character and starts complaining about the money sect's exploitation. Curious and desperate, he asks the protagonist to take him along, hoping to escape his miserable life. The man jokingly tells the protagonist to leave, saying young men like him can only work as gigolos in their sect. The protagonist offers him a gold coin, explaining it's enough to clear his debt and was gifted by sect master Chen. Shocked, the man hesitates, unsure how to accept such generosity. He praises the protagonist's kind face and refuses to drag him into their sect, instead offering to introduce him to a different job if he really needs money. The man hands him a note, instructing him to knock on a small door behind the casino. 2 long knocks, one short, and says the person inside will introduce him to work. In his thoughts, the man schemes to earn an extra introduction fee by passing the protagonist along. The protagonist walks alone toward a dark alley, holding the note, heading to the location mentioned. He knocks on the metal door exactly as instructed, 2 long knocks, 1 short. A muscular man opens the door and complains that old Sun is always sending random people. He asks what he's there for. He replies calmly that he's looking for a job and hands over the note given to him earlier. The man reads the note, which explains that the protagonist helped pay off a debt and should be given a high-paying job to earn the money back. The man smirks, saying there's a high-paying job if he can handle hardship. The protagonist replies he's willing to do anything except murder or arson. The muscular man tells him to follow as he leads him to the workplace immediately. He mentions that old Sun hasn't recommended anyone for this particular job in a long time. He explains that while there's a casino above, there's another one hidden below. With a sinister grin, he reveals the truth: above they gamble with money, but below they gamble with lives. The door to the underground casino creaks open as someone turns the handle, revealing flashing lights and roaring cheers. Inside, a brutal fight unfolds in a brightly lit arena filled with a wild audience. One fighter delivers a devastating blow, slashing his opponent across the head with deadly force. A white-haired hostess announces the winner, stating that Sect Master Zhu from the Vile Sect will personally hand over the prize money. The winner proudly sits with 2 bunny girls as a man praises his strength, declaring him fit for the Vile Sect. He throws down a case of money, rewarding him generously. The injured fighter crawls toward the cash, repeatedly thanking the Sect Master with desperation. Meanwhile, the protagonist silently observes the scene, his expression unreadable. The host announces a surprise extra match due to the appearance of a new challenger. The prize pool and betting odds are doubled, raising the stakes in the underground arena. The muscular man smirks and tells the protagonist it's his turn, adding that as long as he doesn't end up disabled, the pay will be enough. The protagonist steps into the spotlight, realizing that this underground boxing is how they earn money by gambling with lives. He jumps into the arena with a confident landing, drawing attention from the crowd. With a calm smirk, he thinks to himself that this situation isn't completely without benefits. He's pleased his real target is here. He's found the master of the Vile Sect. His eyes lock onto the man seated on the upper deck, surrounded by bunny girls, the Vile Sect master. The women mock him, saying his skinny frame will get him killed in just a few hits. They laugh about how many desperate men risk their lives just for money. The mohawked man grins, calling these fighters tools to milk cash from foolish spectators. The announcer shouts, "Begin," as the underground deathmatch officially starts. The opponent charges in with a fierce attack, powering up midair with a loud shout. But he remains calm, adjusting his sleeve with sharp focus. In an instant, he counters with a devastating punch, landing it directly in the chest. The crowd watches in shock, their eyes wide and jaws dropped at the unexpected reversal. The man watching from the door is shocked by what just happened. Inside the ring, the opponent lies unconscious while he stands calm and composed. The sect master slams his hand down, reacting with rising interest. With a smirk, he mutters, "This guy, interesting." 3 men from the crowd stare at the stage in disbelief. He stands calmly in the center of the ring while the crowd cheers loudly around him. The man with the mohawk smiles and says, "Well done, kid." He proudly declares, "You've earned the right to challenge me." Suddenly, a powerful figure jumps down, crashing onto the ring with explosive force. The mohawk man descends from above, lightning crackling around him as he lands with intense force. He stomps onto the ground with such power that the floor cracks beneath his feet. The announcer shouts excitedly, "Today the audience will witness the most spectacular match in history. Let's welcome our strongest sect master." With a confident pose, the sect master brandishes a massive glowing blade, ready for battle. He grips his hand tightly as energy starts to gather, but he's aware of the arena's limits. He thinks to himself, "Can't use large-scale techniques here." The announcer hypes the crowd. "Let us witness Sect Master Zhu's victory once again." She declares, "The slaughter begins," as the Sect Master charges forward, lightning blazing from his weapon. The Sect Master swings his blazing sword toward the challenger with full force. The commentator announces, "The Sect Master takes the initiative to attack the challenger." With deadly intent in his eyes, he launches another explosive strike. The challenger barely dodges as the blade cuts through the air. The battle is quite intense, the commentator shouts. Sect Master Zhu unleashes another devastating strike, its force enough to shatter mountains. The crowd trembles in fear. One spectator mutters, "It scared me too." Death. Zhu mocks, "What's wrong? Where did your earlier fire go? Don't disappoint me." But the challenger dashes forward again, undeterred by the pressure. The challenger throws a fierce punch, but the sect master blocks it with his golden weapon. The crowd sees the weapon crack, a third-grade spirit treasure damaged by a single blow. The sect master is shocked and shouts, "Can it really be deformed with one punch?" Before he can recover, the challenger lunges again, eyes locked, fists flying. The challenger throws another fierce punch, smashing the golden weapon once again. The sect master stares in disbelief. His third-grade spirit treasure is shattering before his eyes. He mutters, "How is this possible?" unable to understand the force behind the blow. The black-haired challenger's eyes glow red with fury as he charges in to finish the assault. The crowd erupts in disbelief and excitement after witnessing the golden weapon shatter. The announcer yells in shock. This is the first time someone has broken Sect Master Zhu's golden sand. One gambler celebrates wildly, confident his bet on the challenger will make him rich. Meanwhile, a mysterious figure smirks quietly in the background, clearly intrigued. The sect master laughs off the weapon's destruction, saying he has plenty of treasures and is simply enjoying the entertainment. Meanwhile, a red-dressed woman watches from above, noting someone's strategy of using others to delay their arrival. She comments sarcastically, urging Sect Master Zhu to end his dull game quickly, reminding him there's still business to do. A commentator excitedly announces the arrival of the powerful sect masters of Tyrant Sect and Tycoon Sect. One elder suggests helping the fighter to build goodwill for future business. The red-haired woman agrees it's a viable idea. They both leap down from the viewing platform, landing directly in the arena near the black-haired fighter. The woman teases the sect master, saying they've been observing and he even got overpowered once. He insists he doesn't need help. She analyzes the young fighter, suspecting he must be a genius from another sect or someone extremely important. The black-haired fighter calmly analyzes the situation. Too many people are watching. Fighting now isn't ideal. His main goal is making money, and revenge can wait. His eyes narrow with resolve as he watches the sect master prepare another charge. The sect master dashes forward again, confident and aggressive. But before he reaches his target, the red-dressed woman unleashes a powerful technique, freezing the surroundings with chilling energy. The red-haired woman's icy strike crashes into the ring, blasting the ground into rubble. The black-haired fighter leaps back, dodging just in time as the arena shakes from the impact. He stares silently, activating the black gauntlet on his arm, energy swirling ominously. Suddenly, a massive explosion erupts, lighting up the ring in a blinding burst of power. As the dust clears, he is seen kneeling in the center of the ring, motionless. The three sect masters stare at him, sensing something's off, but unsure what he's planning. He slowly lowers his head, blood dripping to the floor as tension fills the air. The ground beneath him becomes stained with blood, signaling something deeper at play. Someone drags his unconscious body through a quiet alley and tosses him to the ground. He slams hard onto the floor, still bleeding and barely conscious. A man mocks him, saying he should have just taken the beating and the money instead of trying to be tough. He continues, ridiculing him for almost dying to the three sect masters, unsure if he's stupid or just that desperate. The man tosses some cash at him and says, "Here, this is yours." He tells him to back down next time if he wants to make money and survive. Struggling to get up, he spits blood and forces himself to move. He grips the money and thinks, "If not for my defensive technique, I would have been beaten to death like any ordinary person." He walks alone in the night, thinking he's earned enough for now and just needs to wait for the right moment. He arrives at a place called Chick Hotel. He exhales deeply, clearly tired, and prepares to enter. As he opens the door, a girl suddenly jumps into his arms and shouts, "Ling Chen." The girl yells at him, asking why he's covered in wounds. Did he go out killing again? He smiles and says that since she's his disciple now, her expenses are his responsibility as her master. He reminds her that she wanted to learn magic, but warns her the cultivation path is tough. She confidently replies that she's ready. He then tells her to formally perform the disciples' bow, smiling calmly. She respectfully clasps her hands and bows, calling out, "Master Ling Chen, I bow to you." Kneeling fully, she asks him to accept her disciples' respects. He stands quietly, thinking he never imagined he'd have his own disciple one day. Placing his hand gently on her head, he expresses hope that she'll become the hope for their sect's revival. He explains that everyone has elemental spiritual roots with strengths and weaknesses. After testing hers, he confirms her strongest is wood. He hands her a cultivation book, saying it contains their sect's basic wood element technique. She's shocked, saying books like these are super rare and expensive. He tells her to stop overreacting and just focus on her cultivation, sitting calmly as she stumbles back in excitement. He activates a golden energy beam with a finger gesture, likely demonstrating or testing her spiritual response. His golden energy shoots through the room, forming a circular pattern that reveals a hidden scene. Inside the vision, 3 people from another location are shown using magic, each holding glowing elemental rings. They're being monitored. He silently watches, analyzing their movements. The girl behind him is surprised by what she sees. Still calmly controlling the golden thread, he keeps observing while staying focused and composed. As he turns to leave, green spiritual energy begins to rise around her. He looks back, surprised by her quick progress. She's already meditating and starting physical training within half a day. He reflects on her potential, thinking that if it were the past, she could have become a prodigy of the sect. She sits cross-legged, fully immersed in her cultivation, glowing with green energy while he watches silently from the doorway. He asks the hotel owner if they serve meals, but she replies it's just a budget hotel mostly used by young couples. Meals aren't usually provided. She offers to cook for an extra fee or suggests ordering takeout instead. He silently thinks he can't let more people discover this place. He hands her a thick stack of cash and asks her to prepare a meal for them. Shocked and thrilled by the money, she eagerly agrees and rushes to get it ready. He confirms that he has gathered intel on the enemy's location and routine and prepares to double-check the surroundings to avoid any mistakes. Suddenly, a robot officer arrives and questions them about strange vibrations detected from the area, asking if they originated from the hotel. The boss lady quickly covers up, claiming she didn't hear anything. The officer warns them not to engage in unauthorized cultivation. She flirts, offering to arrange company if needed. The officer, satisfied, salutes and says he'll visit when he has time. After the inspection, the officer turns around and leaves the hotel without raising suspicion. He hears a sudden energy surge from the room and walks toward the source. Opening the door, he sees green energy swirling intensely. He's shocked to see how much power is being emitted inside. In just one day, she has already reached the 3rd level of body, refining a feat that stuns him. He notices that despite abundant spiritual energy, no disciple from the new sects is using it to cultivate. She opens her eyes slowly, feeling something new awaken within. Excitedly, she tells him that his method really works. She feels light and filled with strength. He gently pats her head, reminding her not to get arrogant. Cultivation is a long journey. A woman checks if the guests still have money left to cover their room. The woman in the black dress smiles confidently and replies there's more than enough, no need to disturb them. Suddenly, he appears with sharp eyes, asking coldly, "Looking for me?" He confronts her directly, asking who she is and what she wants from him. The woman calmly says she's not his enemy and tells him not to ask too many questions yet. Another woman explains that the room and earlier tip were paid by someone named Miss Sheng. He suddenly throws a punch toward the woman. He's startled mid-attack, eyes wide with shock and red exclamation marks flashing. Black smoke-like energy surges around him as he prepares to attack again. The woman calmly says she's not his enemy and promises to explain everything when the time is right. Another woman guesses he's planning to go after the sect people. He remains silent, surrounded by dark aura. The little girl peeks from the staircase. The woman asks, "What about the little girl?" The little girl hides behind a curtain and whispers that the woman doesn't seem like a good person. He agrees her skills won't help in the coming battle, but he also can't trust these two either. To earn his trust, the woman offers to place a life and death seal on the child. She activates the seal, saying if anything happens to the girl, she'll die too, proving her sincerity. He considers her sincerity placing a life and death seal might mean she's telling the truth. The woman smiles gently and agrees to watch over the girl for him. He tells the girl to stay with the lady for now, she'll keep her safe. The girl asks with wide eyes, "Are you going to punish bad people again?" He gives her a soft smile, reassuring her silently before turning away. The woman gently tells the little girl to go upstairs and wait for Ling Chen. He walks down the stairs, his expression calm and composed. Suddenly, a huge wave of sand bursts up violently from the street as he steps outside. She glares out the window, frustrated that he's sealed his aura so tightly she can't track him. Outside, the building stands quietly under the night sky, unaware of the storm about to unfold. Inside, he slashes through shadowy attackers using a sandstorm-like force, overwhelming them. He calmly observes through a magical screen 2 of the 3 sect masters are present, but one is missing. He dodges a powerful strike as smoke fills the room and an enemy charges in. A golden armored man emerges from the smoke, mocking him and calling him the Shi-Yun sect remnant. The man threatens that this time, he'll beat him to death instead of just knocking him down. He responds coldly, cutting the talk short. Enough talk. The golden armored man lunges forward with immense power, his weapon glowing fiercely. The golden warrior unleashes a powerful energy slash, clashing with the black-robed man's attack in a blinding explosion. An elder observing the battle identifies the young man as the Shi-Yun sect remnant the master spoke of. He notes that the kid is fighting completely differently from how he did in the arena. Suspicion rises, was he hiding his true strength during all the earlier battles? He dashes forward with sharp blades flying past him, bleeding slightly from his neck as he glares back. The elder smirks mockingly, reminding him he lost last time and asks if he truly thinks he can win today. A powerful golden energy starts gathering in the elder's hand, ready to strike. But the black-robed man shatters the ground beneath him, standing tall with his umbrella and fiery power erupting. One of the men panics, shocked that no one warned them this guy had such powerful abilities. The elder regrets not realizing it earlier, remembering how quickly that woman retreated after Chen Shen's death. The black-robed man slams down from the air, his umbrella spinning as the ground below cracks wide open. The enemies get ready to strike. One raises his cane while the other charges with golden armor and a dark aura weapon. A massive explosion shakes the ground as energy clashes violently. He floats upward through the smoke, surrounded by mystical geometric blocks, preparing his next attack. He suddenly darts forward with full force, punching through another fiery blast. With focused eyes and golden energy wrapping around his fist, he charges straight ahead for a direct strike. The old man panics, realizing the situation is collapsing. The armored guy yells, frustrated at his failing equipment. He clenches his fist in anger, golden energy swirling as he prepares another devastating strike. A massive explosion erupts, forcing the old man to retreat with a look of horror. Suddenly, a man grabs his comrade and shouts, "Brother Zhu, run!" But he stands firmly, unfazed by the chaos. He recalls how the 4 sects, in their early days, worked as lackeys for the money sect master, doing all sorts of dirty work. Dark imagery shows their involvement in human trafficking and drug-dealing crimes buried in their rise to power. He accuses them of blaming everything on the Shi-Yun sect, simply because it's the last remaining old sect. The old man defends his view. Why should only the gifted be allowed to cultivate? In this new era, anyone can pay for power, there's nothing wrong with that. He says cultivation was never about talent, it was about duty. Those with corrupt hearts always brought disaster throughout history. The old man defends himself, saying he's no great villain, he just wanted a better life. He accuses others of trading power for greed too. But the response is sharp, those people pay their own price. You used others' pain to gain your strength, what price did you pay? Suddenly, the golden armored enemy leaps in to interrupt, aiming a deadly attack straight at him. The golden armored enemy charges in fast, but someone suddenly appears and tries to block him. With deadly focus, the enemy swings down his glowing weapon, aiming to kill. Blood splatters. The boy's eyes widen in shock as he sees what just happened. He retaliates immediately, piercing the enemy's chest with a powerful counterattack. Blood drips from the enemy's hand as a deep wound tears through his side. A massive burst of blood explodes from his body, painting the scene red. The boy stands calm, soaked in blood, eyes cold behind his glasses. He walks away from the bloody scene while a strange figure watches silently from the shadows. He walks through blood-stained floors, his presence heavy after the brutal fight. A man smirks greedily, asking if all of the money Sects assets now belong to them. Another interrupts, accusing him of spouting nonsense and reminding him it's not his turn to claim anything. A woman slaps the table in frustration, scolding them all as heartless for worrying about wealth when fat money just died. A golden-haired woman places her hand on her chest, solemnly saying she's going to help fat money. She sends a message determined and silent. Meanwhile, another woman, calmly lounging, observes a glowing voodoo doll. She remarks how impressive Ling Chen is for defeating 2 sect masters at once. She smirks, revealing she secretly sent the voodoo doll to follow him, something he didn't even notice due to his trusting nature. The woman slyly smiles while watching her plan unfold, her face partially visible as she holds the phone. Suddenly, the ground near the window starts to distort unnaturally. Black, shadowy mud-like matter begins seeping into the room through the floor and window. The sinister substance continues to pour in, signaling that her voodoo doll's power is being activated.